Hey everybody, Ed back with you from the Insomniac Drive-In, and this is our second video today in a rare occurrence. And we are talking about Ghostbusters 2. I hope the rest of your afternoon went well, and it's good to say hi again. And I watched Ghostbusters 2 a little while ago, and I have to say I enjoyed it. It's a fair sequel to the original Ghostbusters. Of course, you have Ernie Hudson returning, who I enjoy in this one a lot more than I do the first one. Dan Aykroyd. You have most of the main players from the first movie. Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, Harold Ramis, Sigourney Weaver, Rick Moranis, the secretary lady, I can't remember her name off the top of my head, all returning again for another great adventure, continuing the story of the Ghostbuster gang. And it's 5 years later, and they're bankrupt, and the city, they blew up the top of the building, and the city just didn't want them there anymore. Um, so it seems like they have pretty much disbanded, and they're doing children's birthday parties, and it's a lot of fun watching this happen the way that it did in the beginning. And then we get a new threat to the city through a painting in pink slime. We have a moving Statue of Liberty. We have some great stuff with Sigourney Weaver having a child in this one, and Bill Murray does some great baby stuff. Uh, he'd make one heck of a dad, I think, Peter Venkman, and I think he ended up getting the chance, at least for a while after this. Let's see. There's some great ghost gags, with the Titanic arriving, and I think I like the special effects in this one, but I don't think they're as iconic as the first one. That's always seems to be the case um, with sequels. You just can't seem to some sequels anyway. You can't totally capture the magic of the first one, and I think the first um, the first Ghostbusters really captured lightning in a bottle. But I enjoyed it. I still thought it was a fun ride. Um, the guy who plays Sigourney Weaver's boss, who is kind of the minion of our big bad, is so good in this. And I've seen him in other stuff. I can't remember what else I saw him in, but I remember this came out in June of 1989. I remember going to see it. I remember getting the soundtrack on cassette and playing the crap out of it. The Elton John song on it, I really liked playing that one a lot. The Run DMC version of the Ghostbusters theme, and of course Bobby Brown. He has a cameo in it. His on our own. That song was huge. I remember playing that one a lot. I was kind of getting into a little bit of my um, more R&B soul phase at that time. I was listening to Belle Biv DeVoe and Boys to Men and all that stuff. So, which I still like to listen to every now and then. But I thought it was good. It was good. I don't know why we never got a Ghostbusters 3 after that. I was going to look into that before I started doing this video, and I don't have an answer for that yet. So maybe tomorrow night after I watch Ghostbusters Afterlife, I'll have a better answer for you as why it took so long. Um, but overall, Ghostbusters 2 is not as good as the first one, but it has some good moments, and I think they really up the danger to everybody in this one compared to the last one. How do I really thought the first one, they played it a little safe with the characters of the Ghostbusters, like when Slimer attacks Bill Murray in the hotel. And yeah, you have a little bit of danger on top of the building in the end, and of course the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. But in this one, right off the bat, you can tell that um, the danger to the cast is ramped up a little bit. I mean, they almost have a baby hit by a truck in the first minutes of the film, and then Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis are locked in a photo dark room, and it's on fire, and there's just a higher level of danger and a little darker tone to this one. Um, and I'm okay with that. I prefer the tone of the first one better. So what else was playing this weekend when Ghostbusters 2 was in the theater? I looked at the top 20, and these are about, let's see, two, four, six, about eight of them that really stick out to me. Um, Rain Man was playing in the theater at the time. That was a great one. I don't remember if I saw that in the theater or if I ended up renting that one. I don't remember. I did see Canine in the theater. I think that was with Jim Belushi. And that was kind of that little dog cop phase that was going on with Turner and Hooch and Canine. Pet Cemetery. I loved Pet Cemetery. Still one of my favorite horror movies, and it is a pretty scary one. So that one's good. Roadhouse with Patrick Swayze. I didn't see that in the theater. No Holds Barred. I did see in theater. That was a Hulk Hogan one, and yeah, I may have the theme song on my iPod, but I was a huge wrestling guy, still am. So no hold barred, man. Maybe we'll talk about that someday. Star Trek Five. Now this is where it gets interesting because these three films are all sequels, and they were all they had other movies out when the first Ghostbusters one was playing. We have Star Trek Five, which was the not the Voyage Home. Was that Star Trek Five? Was that the Undiscovered? I don't remember what the surtitle of Star Trek Five is, but I think was that the first one I saw in the theater by myself. Um, I may have seen that one in the theater. And then Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, which I absolutely love. Um, Sean Connery as Indiana Jones's dad. I still have the movie poster somewhere, and I hope to get it up here at some point. I had it in my room as a teenager forever. I think I may have even seen that twice in the movie theater. And of course, the number one movie of that weekend in 1989 was Ghostbusters 2. So, that wraps up the original Ghostbusters films. They were great, but I could see that with the second one it slipped a tiny bit. And I think they couldn't really come to a great term for a script, for a story for the next one. But I'm gonna look into that, and we'll talk about that tomorrow. That's it. I will talk to you guys tomorrow after Ghostbusters Afterlife, and I can't wait for Friday for Frozen Empire. It's going to be a lot of fun, I think, and I hope you get a chance to go see it too. So you have a good one. Have a good night. Keep watching those skies. Bye, everybody.